Now we are gonna use PubChemPy to download structures. Hmm. So you need to upload your data, which is this file. So use upload button and upload this file from uh, the location wherever you downloaded it. So this is NTPI's data for acute oral toxicity. And then if you don't understand what acute oral toxicity is, go to Copilot and ask. It will give you a good explanation. But it's um, well, it's acute toxicity observed from the animal when the chemicals were administered through the oral administration, and it is important data to determine the uh, or permissive dose for human later. So here, animals are those with a very high concentration of the chemical. Anyway, I have already coded some part. So I read the file using pandas, and you will see. And as you can see, there are chemicals that multiple chemicals for each dataset. So I need to reduce it. But first, I'm not gonna use mixture because if you take a look at the mixture data here, there's a mixture. You see, mixture. They have active ingredient and something else. Because in the product, final product always have active ingredient and something else. So these are unknown other component. So mixture actually were data from the product, not the single molecule. And our goal is to develop QSA model later. Thus, we're gonna use single molecule. Okay. So I'm not gonna take mixture, and from entire data set, mixture is 4500. So first I'm gonna select if the mixture column is chemical, then it's a single active ingredient, and active ingredients has only LD50 value. If you take a look at in the Excel file, actually endpoint column has more than one values. One is LD50, another one is GHS classification. But here I'm gonna use LD50, and before I go further, I just want to make sure that this column has only one endpoint, and it has only one, so it's good. And there's a response modifier because sometimes it's not possible to decide the LD50 value simply because the highest dose may be too low or too high. So they couldn't really make an estimation. So in that case, they made this. They use this, and we just want an equal sign. Well, and there's no equal sign, but empty row can be considered as an equal sign. So I just remove if these column is nan, and then I check the reference because some of data, if you don't understand what I mean, you really need to take your time and look at the Excel file. So here, response modifier part, empty one, maybe equal sign. I'm pretty sure it's equal sign. Otherwise, they will leave these other sign. And here's a reference, and some of references are empty. And I'm not sure I can trust this data, so I'm gonna remove if reference column is empty. So this is the result. If this is nan, there's a 1600 nan values in reference column, and I use these uh, sign, which this operator, because this is opposition of the true or false value. So by adding this operator, I'm selecting if the row is not nan, then I'm gonna select this. This is what it means. And then I'm gonna check how many duplicates are there. So I first take the chemical name column, and there's a 6,826 data set, and I use set function, which removes all the duplicates and then convert it to list again, and I have 4,990. So since this second time all the duplications were removed, I can see that there are quite many number of compounds um, that appeared more than once. So um, trying to, if there's a more than one compound, let's say these are all the same, but LD50 are different, like a 3,000, um, 2,000, like this. I'm gonna select the lowest one. So I'm checking if my code can work well on this task. So first I select with the name of chemical, and if selected data frame has more than one data point, well, here I just want to check which chemicals come first. If it has more than one data, so in this case I get this one, and I have these four different values. Well, they look very similar, so it's okay. And I selected the lowest values index. Oh, this was index, not really LD50 value. Mm, okay, let me check. What was the name of column? Ah, it was response. Okay. So if you want to know the exact LD50 value, you can modify it like this. Response. But I'm too lazy to run this again. So if you want to check, you can test this. But I'm not gonna do that here. Um, so these are the. So with this chemical, I have four data points, and from them I'm gonna select the lowest one, which is So I use this one, IDX min, which returns index of this data frame if the endpoint value did I use endpoint? Okay. Ooh. Let's see. Oop, I just found the error. I should have returned response, not really endpoint here. I think I should run again the code. What I mean by that is I select based on this endpoint column if endpoint is minimum, but endpoint has this LD50 string. So if I just select the minimum value among this string, um, maybe this first one is selected like this. So this is clearly an error. I should select the response, not based on this endpoint. Okay. Hmm. I've just figured out my error, so I changed my code to response to check the response column. So I check response column, and luckily the first one was taken. If that's the situation, then my previous code may select without much error, but I'm not sure about that. So I think I should run this old code again. But anyway, I need to download based on the response. If the response value is the minimum value, then I select the and then return the index of the minimum value. It also works even though only one data was selected. So now I'm ready. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select um, index of selected data frame from based on the chemical name, and then I collect all the indexes I should select. So these are the index value. Well, I should run again because my code had a semantics error. If it's done, you will have this 4,990 dataset. So please run your code up to here, and then we're going to PubChem Pi from the next video.